The Peapod. Let's get that introduction going in just a moment.
Welcome to the Peapod. Just like the bees in a peapod, each human is here to have experiences that will contribute to the growth of all. Here at the Peapod, we will examine some of these experiences and glean the lessons learned, the truth uncovered, and come to a deeper understanding through our sharing. Grab your popcorn, get comfortable, maybe even a paper and pen, and get ready for an amazing time with your hostess, Terry Angel, a woman on a mission to bring change, especially in the arena of peace, into our world. And here she is.
Thank you, my friend, and welcome everyone. Well, I tried to do this earlier today, and we had some difficulty going live, so I am now streaming it about an hour after it was supposed to stream, but hopefully you're catching this either now or on the replay. The Peapod. The Peapod is what the angels describe as an incubator for love. They said that we are all peas in a pea pod, that we're fed by the same source, the Creator. So this is a gathering of the peas in a safe container. It's an incubator for love, allowing each unique person to speak, expressing with love, sharing hope into our world. Today, we'd like to discuss a topic that's been debated and discussed for centuries: reincarnation. Reincarnation is a concept that many cultures and religions have explored, and it's the idea that after we die, our soul is reborn into a new body to live another life. The belief in reincarnation is based on the idea that our soul is eternal and that it continues to exist even after our physical body dies. This means that when we die, our soul moves on to a new body, which could be human or even animal, depending on our karma or actions in our previous life. Anthony Hinks said, "The light at the end of the tunnel is just you, with the chance to be born again." While some people may believe in reincarnation as a religious or spiritual practice, others view it as a philosophical concept that can help them understand their purpose in life. They believe that through reincarnation, they can learn from their past mistakes, develop new skills, and make progress towards a higher level of consciousness. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The soul comes from without into the human body as into a temporary abode, and it goes out of it anew. It passes into other habitations, for the soul is immortal." Reincarnation has been explored in various cultures and religions, and each of these traditions has their own unique beliefs and practices when it comes to reincarnation. So whether you view reincarnation as a spiritual practice or a philosophical concept, it is a fascinating topic that has captured the interest of people for centuries. Today, we will delve deeper into this topic of reincarnation, and I am honored to have two dear friends with me to hold this discussion today. Now, as I said a few minutes ago, we had difficulty getting the live stream going, so what I'm going to play is a recording of that meeting of the minds that we had. But I will be right here behind the scenes, so if you have any comments, go ahead and put those in, and I will try my best to get in there and reply to you. So let me go ahead and put this on so you can hear that conversation that was held with John Thaddeus Fiore and C. Meagan Michael.
And then I'll just put it up online. I'll record the opening that I did. So, you guys, here we are. It feels like we're in a private room now.
It's our own personal chat.
It is.
So would you like me to share this thing would you like me to share?
I would love for you to share.
Okay, so before, like an hour before, I got my hair cut, I came home and I brought a sub from Subway and I'm sitting there eating and I thought, I'm going to put on something about reincarnation, because I just felt drawn to do that. So while I'm eating, I'm going to watch this. And I put on this Lifetime, it's on YouTube. I can share the link if you want me to. It's called The Boy Who is Mysteriously an Antiques Expert, The Ghost Inside My Child, Season 2, Episode 2. All right, so I'm listening to this, and there's two stories. One is about a boy who doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. The other one was about a little girl in Star, North Carolina, who's 5 years old, has terrible separation anxiety when her mom tries to leave. And the story starts to unfold that this little girl lived with Indians, and her family was killed. And then I kept thinking, this sounds awfully familiar. This sounds awfully familiar. Do you know where I'm going with this? Okay. Well, are you familiar with the story of Olive Oatman?
No.
Olive Oatman, she was part of a wagon train. Her family was murdered she's the little girl, sorry, that's Trixie, called them, there was mean Indians and nice Indians, and they killed her family, the mean Indians, that's what she's called them. But then the nice ones took her to live with them. And anyway, it's a fascinating story, and she has tattoos on it. She had, because she's been gone for quite a while, tattoos on her chin and stuff. Anyway, this little girl's mom wanted to, be supportive, even though she's Southern Baptist and she's doing all the research. And I swear, as soon as she puts the picture of Olive Oatman and says, we believe she was Olive Oatman, spirit chills everywhere. I've got them right now. I became freezing. And I'm normally hot when the spirit blends with me. Right. This is different. And I have to share something. You guys know Kimmy Siegel?
Yes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Her maiden name is Kimmy Oatman. She's Olive Oatman's ancestor, our really good
God,
friend.
I have chills.
Wow.
Yep. My whole scalp is all. I had to share that with you, and literally, I mean, that's that. I had to share this because it just happened. And from 4 to 5, that's what I was doing. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, "Thank you, Spirit. I will be sharing this on Terry's show."
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. You can't make this stuff up.
Really? Wow. I'm telling you, hang out with you guys and more things I hear, and I'm just never surprised anymore. It's like, wow. I have a little experience with, I was going to say, gals, the only experience I have with this is something I've experienced personally. And I guess most of us have gone through a past life regression.
Mm-hmm.
And it was too defined and too, I'm looking for the right word, too detailed for it to be fabricated, Terry, C.
Mm-hmm.
I had a past life. I don't know if here's what I don't know, and I'm learning from guys like you, if it was a simultaneous universe or was it in a past experience. I don't know about that stuff and timelines. However, I did have this experience, or I'm going through it presently in another timeline, that I could describe as being in the dark ages of the 1300s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a hunter called Johann, and I faced armies many times over. And in this experience, I died many times over. And every time I died, I had to go in front of the elders and to speak about my experience and what did I learn. So all I know is I within this experience, I died hundreds of deaths by facing an army by myself. And I'm saying, where did all of this come from? And I would often reach out to certain psychic medium friends and saying, is there anything you could offer me about this experience? And, they would give me what they got. And I'd have to say, with my training as an EFT practitioner, I would go with the feeling of what I was getting out of the experience. And it was something about, and to this day, I still have the same feeling about giving my life for a cause. And I can't explain much about that, but it's a similar feeling to what I had then. Terry, see, and something, all I know is that we, the three of us, all tune into spirit. We connect with loved ones on the other side. We connect with angelic energies. We connect with ascended masters. We know that there is infinite energies that we're connecting with. Okay, so there is evidence, and we don't pull this stuff out of nowhere. The stuff flows through us, all with the intention of helping others with their experience, with their physical experience in this go round. Okay, we know that a lot of what is going on with us today is connected to either past lives or our ancestral energy. And we do our best to deal with that in the present time, because that's what really matters now, is how can we navigate through our present experience with as little suffering as possible. Our Creator doesn't want us to suffer. So, and I think that is the similarity between all three of us in our work, that we try to help people navigate through this present experience with information coming from a loving source that we know is here to help us through this. Just my take on it.
Absolutely. So, do you remember a time in your life when you weren't even aware that there may be something like reincarnation, that you weren't sure if this was it? If there was, or did you always, do you think, have that knowingness that there was more to life than what we knew?
I've always known.
Yeah, see, okay. At a young age,
Yep.
I could remember sitting on my bike. I was 8 years old, and I was sitting in front of church, my Catholic church, and I remembered that my father was always working, and I never really got to see him much. And at 8 years old, to have the awareness to say to God, the supreme being, whatever that was taught to me at the time, Terry, there's got to be more to life than just work. So I knew that there was some kind of, I know now that was a spiritual connection with my Creator. I didn't realize it at the time. I thought I was a little boy just talking to God and daydreaming, but I know now that was probably my first conscious spiritual connection with the Creator, or whatever we deem as God or the supreme being. There are many different understandings of it, but all I know is it's a source of love that we all excuse me, like to connect to help ourselves and others, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you, Fee? You said you've always known?
I have, actually. I have. I mean, looking back into my childhood, it's funny. I said, looking back, I realize all I've run concurrently, and that's my belief. But it's hard to wrap my head around sometimes because we have this linear man-made construct of time that we're programmed with. And but yeah, so that being said, I've never, there was never a time in my life when there was any pushback. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I've always been into, my mom was into astrology. When I was a little girl, I would play games. There was a game called Fiore. I don't know how I got that game. Okay, not officially. I made it up, or spirit gave it to me. And my friend and I would spin around in circles, get dizzy, altered state of consciousness, fall down on the ground, and then we were in a different land, basically a different dimension. And so, and there are lots of things. And also when I was a child, I would tell myself, remember this, I'm going to remember this. So different points during the first 7 years of my life, I would say, okay, I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember this moment. And I kept thinking, eventually I forgot what I'm supposed to remember, but I would have these two prompts that I would ask myself, well, what if there was no God, right? And then what if there was no universe? And then, and so I feel like I know actually that my soul said, okay, well, you believe you're going to remember it, and we're telling you you're not, but okay, let's go with this. Here are two questions that you can use to prompt yourself to help you to remember. And eventually I forgot what I was trying to remember, but there's never been a time in my life, as a matter of fact, from the first time I heard about reincarnation, which is probably like that book, Life After Death, or Life Between Life, that's a different book, Life Between Lives. That's interesting too. But you remember that back in the 70s, the one, I can't think of the author offhand, or even the Life After Death. Anyway, I'm like, oh yeah, that explains everything. I always just knew. So and none of this, and I didn't have any hardcore religious programming to push against me either. So my soul just was aware of things, and that made sense. And by the way, I have to share this. Oatman, Arizona. I know you realize you're in Arizona right now, right?
Yes.
Spirit gave that to me. They said, because Oatman, Arizona is about Olive Oatman. So if you're interested in checking that out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. And did you say what part of Arizona?
I don't know exactly what part. But it's called Oatman, Oatman, Oatman,
Okay.
Arizona.
I will look that up.
Donkeys. And my other friend Diane went there a couple of years ago, brought me back a t-shirt. There's donkeys that walk around free, and they chat with people. It's like a small town. I haven't been there personally. It looks like a small town, and it looks really cool. What? That's Chevy. Sorry, he's really loud. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm here in Scottsdale presently, and I'll be in Sedona in a couple of weeks with a retreat. And Sedona is like this amazing vortex of energy. If you've never been there, it is crazy good.
Love to go.
Me too. I would love to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Lots of extraterrestrial activity there, and that's part of the retreat that we'll be doing, is going out and exploring and watching that. But for me, I've always known that there was more, like you see. I just knew. And sorry, we can't prove anything about all the philosophies and all the the things that people say, but I've heard from so many people that we come in with a knowingness, and this is what the angels have shared also. We come in with a knowingness of who we are. We know that we're spirit inside of this human body. And like you were saying, see, you knew that for like 7 years. You had that awareness. And psychologists teach us that the first 7 years of a child's life is when they're learning, they're being told who they are, right? Not the spirit being, but they're told how to act in the world and what to do and believe and all of that stuff. So I think personally, my belief is that for those first 7 years, we're still in touch with who we are as a spirit being. And if we can just cultivate that, and I tell parents that have new children, just, keep encouraging them. It's not a fantasy if they tell you they're talking to an angel, or if they're telling you about something that, sounds kind of wacky, but just look at it and encourage them to explore that with you. Because I don't know if you all have ever seen any of the stories about children that knew who they were in other lifetimes.
That's
the
what I was
other
just talking
parent-
about before with that
Exactly.
show. It's exactly what it was about. So the
Yeah.
parents were convinced too, you know,
Mhm.
really amazing.
Yeah.
Kids
There's
come in
there's
and
been
they
a
say, I had another family, you're not my first mother.
right.
Where, how come my son hasn't picked me up for a ball game in a while? And the kid's 3 or 5 or something. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandsons will pop off. Oh, I was this and I saw that, and you know what, Terry, to give credit to what you're saying is we support that now. Whereas in the past, if I were to say something like that, I would be told it's all in your imagination or you're
Mhm.
making it up
Yeah.
and you know what? Our parents were doing the best they could at the time. And
Absolutely.
but through our experience and our knowledge of what we're learning is that we are spirit in human form, that all of this is, I mean, we're communicating with spirit all the time. And so it's not something to be feared
Right.
or to be suppressed. It's very, very natural that just because we're in this physical body, that we can still easily connect with this divine intelligence that we are a part of. Okay, and and I think through our experiences, we're all able to share and help people with whatever is going on with them. But I have an interesting question that I'd like to pose to both of you. The way I understand it, or the way I feel is true now, and I don't know, is when we leave this physical body and our soul goes to wherever it goes, Terry, see, we don't have to incarnate right away,
Right.
is what I feel, because I'm still communicating with, let's say, my parents that passed, my grandparents. I don't know if they reincarnated. Uh, I don't know how long it takes in a linear sense that she was mentioning. Do we actually get to choose the amount of time we'd like to spend? I mean, what are your feelings on that? The amount of time we'd like to spend in heaven, so to speak, or in spirit world, so to speak.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have some strong thoughts on it, but I would love to hear C respond.
It's my understanding that souls often take some time, with air quotes, time, before they reincarnate. But I also believe that we're infinite beings and that we can be incarnate because I feel like it's my belief that all timelines run concurrently. So I believe we can be in spirit and in all of our lives, and also like bleed through or reach through intentionally to other lives and energies from other lives, and still be available to chat with our loved ones. And I also believe, slightly off topic, maybe not, that oftentimes we incarnate as an ancestor of our own. I don't know that I've done that. I'm not sure. I don't feel like drawn to that. That's me I'm speaking about, but it is for, I believe, a lot of people. So what do you think, Terry?
Wow.
Oh, my belief is so similar to yours, C. I've done a lot of study about dimensions, and I really do believe that everything is happening. It's not going to happen. It not did happen. It's all happening. And so all of those lives that we think of as past lives, right? I don't even use that term anymore because there is no past. Everything is going on. So all of those things that we are doing on a different dimension. And we can tap into those dimensions at any time. Anytime we can just use our intuition. We could go into that trance state where we're like, okay, I'm going to communicate here on this level. And I'd like to share a really cool experience I had where when I first started exploring about dimensions, I didn't know anything about dimensional energy, nothing. I just knew what my beliefs were about reincarnation, that there was more than just this physical body. And when it dies, we're gone. I knew that there was more than this. And I was mentoring a young lady, and she turned into be a really dear friend. And she was having some really tough issues with things that were coming up in her life, in present life. And so we're trying to explore, okay, I wonder where that came from, where that energy bled through into this lifetime. And I said, well, with your permission, I'll try to go into your Akashic records, look and ask the angels what I need to share with you. And so, of course, I got her permission. And I know she won't mind me sharing. I'm not even saying her name. So we're sitting there, and we're on a Zoom call like this. And I just tuned in, and all of a sudden, do y'all know the movie Ghost?
Sure.
You know where
Oh,
Patrick
yeah.
Swayze was putting his head into the train looking for that spirit?
Love it.
This
Love
is what I was doing. I was like poking into dimensions, and I'm like,
Wow.
nope, you're not in that one. Oh,
Wow.
no, I don't see you there. And then all of a sudden, it was like it just opened up, just like a movie theater. The movie came on, and I was seeing that lifetime where she was so persecuted. And she had a young son who was autistic. And it was like, oh, everything just showed itself. Like he was there when she was being persecuted, and everything was just explained so well. And she was seeing it along with me. This was the beauty of it. When we tapped in, we were so connected. And so we're both watching this just like watching a movie. And so I fully believe that everything is happening. We have the capability of viewing it, of understanding it. And I love it. I work with dimensional energy all the time. I do quantum leaps and go into future, the time thing, right? I go into another dimension where there's happenings that haven't shown itself to me yet in this linear time frame, in this lifetime. But we have the capacity to do all of that. We can quantum jump anywhere. And I'm exploring it more and more. I'm going to be working with it some at the retreat I'm getting ready to do, taking everybody into a state where they can do a quantum leap. And I'm excited about what's going to happen there. So to me, this is the exciting part of opening up to our spirituality and seeing, just what there is, because there's so much more than just, getting up and going to work and then eating and going to bed and doing it all over again. Right. there's so much more to life.
I was just going to ask you, Terry, is there a process of, excuse me, of you being able to take people into these different, wow, that's something I'd love to experience myself.
Yeah. It's exciting.
I've never done that in a group.
I love this. I love this stuff,
Yeah.
It's so fascinating is the word, we can expand our consciousness, if you would, to accept that there are possibilities of all of these beautiful things happening simultaneously. I'm learning from you guys. You guys are kind of confirming what I've gotten from other sources of mediumship, that it's all happening simultaneously. And when I hear you guys say it, you guys are trusted friends, and I say, okay, that's how I learned, through experience. And I'm saying, okay, I have a lot of trusted friends saying pretty much the same thing. So I take it, I take that as a very good possibility that it's true. And I see no need to negate or close my mind off from that kind of stuff. I'm just open to these beautiful experiences that you guys are sharing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. When my brother passed away, which was just this past January, but first that he had a stroke, but he was connecting with me. He transitioned before I had a chance to visit him in person and say goodbye, but he was with me. He was here with me, and I felt him in a way that I'd never felt him before while he was still in his body. And I'm connecting with him, and I know his body was still alive, but he's here with me. And I thought that was extremely interesting. And after he transitioned, I felt him as well, but I felt him just as strongly while he was still in his body. Not sure if that exactly is on topic, but I just had to share that just now for whatever reason. I don't really know. I guess it speaks to the dimensions that you're talking about, that where everything runs concurrently, including all of our, I don't know what to call them either. Without past lives and future, it's weird but I like the discussion of dimensions and the word reincarnation, because that makes sense. I have to feel like what John is just talking about, and I want to validate what you're saying. I do also appreciate what my trusted friends are saying, and then I'll see how that feels in my own body, And as long as it feels, John was like, yeah, you got to see how it feels for you, because I have trusted friends that have beliefs that I don't necessarily take as my own, because they're not my beliefs. Other things, you hear and you feel, you just know. That's how it is for me anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And
I remember the first time I heard about reincarnation, I knew it was a real thing. I never doubted that for a second.
Yeah, you have that gut hit. Yeah. I call them other life streams instead of past lives.
Other life streams.
They're other life streams. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. Because they're, we're eternal. We're eternal beings. And I fully believe that. And, it just means that we're just going to keep doing this. We're just going to keep going wherever we go, whether that's here on this planet, another planet, whatever it might look like. And we just have this big playground. And that's what it feels like to me. It's a big playground. And it's a learning place for us. Our soul grows just like our physical body grows. So why wouldn't we experience different things and on different planes? So, yeah.
Totally resonates what you're saying. My guys gave me a hit recently about old souls, and saying that, because I asked them, well, what exactly is an old soul? And then they said an old soul is not a soul that's older than other souls. It's a soul that has more experience in one particular dimension than other souls. Mm-hmm. So the three of us are old souls. And my understanding, as my guides have told me, we're old souls because we've had we're still, I guess, having many human incarnations, lots of experience. Yeah. And so that's now my understanding of old souls.
That certainly feels true. See, Right? Again, we're going with the feeling, and you get that feeling like this is not my first rodeo.
Exactly. Yeah, you've done this dance before, John.
Yeah, and all of that is great, but I feel strongly that we use this to help other souls on their journey. Not that we're more intelligent than them, not that we know more than them, that we just help guide them, because it is a tricky experience, if you would. It's not, the human experience is a little bit, how would you say, detailed, and there are ways of trying to help people, because we're born with these, we're experiencing this dimension, this existence with these things we called minds that can get us into trouble, and what we're learning through our experiences is to put all the pieces together to help others through their experience in whatever this is right now. And I mean, that's how I feel it works for me. I'm always open to hearing what my peeps have to say and learn from them. And I've learned so much I've had experiences with people that connect with the other side or the other side of the veil, spirit world, whatever. Since I'm a little child, I just knew that as a little child that we call them psychics back then, were the connection to the divine. That's the way I saw it I felt it as a little kid. And ever since I was a child, I had this endearment and love, great love for you guys and the things that you guys do. And so my experience of learning some modalities and learning how to help people through this challenging experience using spirit is kind of like what I'm learning to develop. But I've been loving you guys long before you knew it.
We all have.
Long before I even knew it.
Yeah.
I said, "Wow, these psychic people are so great." And of course, there are those that, there's this duality that we're born into, and there's darkness and light. And I know there are those who dabble for whatever reason, no judgment, in the darkness, whether it's for monetary gain, it doesn't matter. And I was always drawn to the light. and I'm learning that there's no good and bad, and the darkness is there, but we have the choice to say who we want to hang out with. And I choose to hang out with guys like you in the light. So that's just my experience.
I love that.
Yeah. It's
I
beautiful.
wanted to write myself a message to share with you guys, and my cat wouldn't move off my pen. So I grabbed this off my shelf to remind me that I believe that often we have indications of our other lives, or what do you call them again, Terry?
The other life streams.
The other life streams, of our other life streams, we'll go with that, often by what we collect or what we're drawn to, the cultures we're drawn to, the countries we're drawn to. I collect these little bottles, old bottles. I don't exactly know why. Am I from the old West or something? I don't know. But these really resonate with me, and medicine bottles especially. Why? Maybe I was a doctor. I don't really exactly know the answer to that. I got chills when I heard that. But they just tickle me my fancy. Why? They're breakable, they're cumbersome, but they're fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I believe that.
And that's good enough.
Yeah. And I do believe that we can intersect. Some of those life streams can intersect with where we are now. Have you ever had deja vu experiences?
Yes.
It's like
more
it's
now than never.
familiar. Yeah, we've never experienced it in this particular life stream, but on another dimension, we may be doing that. We may be living a life, like you said, see, maybe a doctor, maybe you were like making those little bottles. Who knows?
Maybe I was. I feel like I had to do with the medicine that was in them. I don't know.
Yeah. So that sounds right. And it feels like you put herbs in them or something that would help people. That's what I'm feeling. It's like you were doing something that you had the knowledge of to help others.
I feel that. I keep hearing cocaine. So, and back in the day, that was a medicine, considered a medication.
Yes, exactly.
So I feel like I work with those type of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I call it when worlds intersect, because those dimensions just kind of, pass through each other. And it's like, oh, I know that place, or I know that person. Have you ever had that where you meet somebody and you're like, oh, I know you. I've never seen you before in this life, but I do know you.
I know you. Yeah. I felt that when I hugged you.
Oh, and yes.
When I hugged you, to this day, I remember the feeling of, because I met Terry in person. She was visiting in my town, and amazing channeling the angels experience with us. But anyway, she did the water blessing, and we went to the river with her. And honestly, it was like hugging Mother Earth herself. It was the most incredible experience, Terry. And my soul knew your soul. It's like we just connected. Did you? I don't know if you felt that, but I felt that with your energy. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was just,
Grab this. Sorry to interrupt. I didn't
it's
even
all
realize,
right.
but you're
I
Mama
love
Peace,
that.
and I'm drinking out of my peace cup today. So.
No, I was just going to say, whatever it is about what we call this soul family,
Mhm.
you know, meeting you guys and the people that I've connected with. I could actually get emotional about this. It's so beautiful is the word. People that are accepting and loving unconditionally is something I'm getting to experience in friends like you guys. Oh, geez, I could get emotional.
That's all right. Emotions are good. It means you care. You know, when we have the tears or just that feeling that comes over us, that means you care deeply. And you can't care too deeply. You can't love too much. Oh, John, I love you so much. And
I'm
and
really
I've
finding
I've
that out. Can't
experienced
love too much.
I've experienced a John hug, and I've experienced a nice tea bath with John.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't wonder if C knows that story. Terry and I are having a lunch at one of those, what do we call those places,
It was
Terry?
the Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
We have those.
Yeah, and we must have caught a young waiter that was training, and he comes over with the tray of iced tea, and don't you know, Terry took a bath,
Oh my
and
God.
she handled it like the angel that she is.
I'm sure
I'm
she did.
sure I'm sure the kid was feeling all
I felt
kinds of.
so bad for him. I really felt
Yeah.
bad for the little guy, you know, and I know
He
he got
got
in
up,
trouble.
wiped herself off, took a couple of napkins. It's okay. It's okay.
I didn't die. You know,
I love that.
Well, all I know is I got a story to bust her chops with from here on.
every time, John, you give me a hard time.
A tea bath. I love that. I have not had the pleasure of meeting John in person yet, but he's my soul
We
brother.
will see. We will.
Oh, you
We will.
will.
I feel very close with
Absolutely.
John. I've
Yeah.
always felt close with John.
Isn't that such an amazing reality that I have friendships, we have friendships that are so dear to us that we've
Yeah.
never even physically,
Yeah.
touched the person.
Right.
I don't feel like we have to, but of course, I'd love to experience a hug from C. Terry, I got to do that with you. And a lot of my soul family that I've met through internet, and that is like this platform that we're able to meet and Facebook and whatever. That's really where I met all of you guys. And for that, I'm so grateful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Understated,
Yeah.
wonderful it is.
Yes, it is. I can't remember. I think it was UC that mentioned. Now I lost my train of thought. You were talking about how somebody's so familiar. We mentioned that you meet somebody, a soul. That was what the conversation was. So just want to throw it out there and see your all's ideas. But what I believe is that we make contracts wherever we're going to go. If we're going to come visit Earth for a bit and hang out here, we make contracts with certain of our soul family and say, hey, let's do this. You know, we'll find each other. Let's go into this experience and meet up. And that's our soul group. And that's my belief about it. I'd like to hear the two of you comment on that.
Can I share first, John? Is that all right?
Go see.
I swear I wrote myself, and I did get my cat off my pen. Anyway, I wrote myself a note and I wrote soul group incarnate, and spirit just said to me, soul groups incarnate to play together and to play in the densities together. I do believe, and I'm drawn to connect with Seth's work, even the fiction, like The Education of Oversoul 7, which is an amazing book written by Jane Roberts, but Seth channeled through Jane Roberts. For anybody that doesn't know, I know you know.
Yeah.
But I do believe that soul groups are like all part of one soul, like soul family, soul group. I feel those words are interchangeable, and we are all together, and we are familiar with each other, and like we come down. Like you're just talking about soul contracts, and then we'll find each other. We come down incarnate within the same time frame that we can connect within that lifetime of span, like 100 years, whatever, and that we connect with each other, and we're here to teach and learn from each other and to play in this experience, like as if we're actors putting on our costumes and we're all acting in a play together, and then we go home and go to a cast party or something, and later on we're somebody else. But anyway, that's my understanding of it, or my feeling about it.
All I want to add, see, it's been my experience that I'm just meeting, and it almost blows the mind. It's so beautiful that you're meeting people that, I don't want to say like-minded, but you can feel this common goal, common way of being. Let me say it that way. This common way of being when I'm with you guys. It's just that we have this understanding that this love energy is really what matters most, and that we try to navigate around emotions and feelings and boundaries and all of that other stuff that we've learned to work with. But the commonality, if you would, between all of us is this understanding of unconditional love that we all like to live in, and we like to how would you say, learn how to navigate in the vibration of this love, fear, energy vortex, if you want to, I mean, there's a lot of ways of explaining it, but this commonality of people that understand this. And I'm really, really working hard on understanding people that may not yet understand what I know or feel right now. And I'm learning that I'm trying to, how would you say, Terry? I'm trying to learn how to undo the separation and all of that. And that's one of my soul missions, is to learn how to understand people that are not there with me yet. Okay? Because everybody experiences this, some not in this reality, some in the next one or whatever. But I'm trying to give everybody the biggest benefit of understanding where people are at on their journey in this present timeline, or whatever, however we like to explain that. But this connection that we have with soul family, you know what, see, this is very funny. Do you know, and I'm addressing you especially because you have doggies.
I do.
And you know this, and I noticed this about animals. I live in a neighborhood near the river, and there's a lot of people have dogs here, and they come to walk them down to the river. They do their business and they come back. Everybody's very respectful. They clean up after themselves and all of that. But I noticed that when the dogs see each other, all they do is want to play together. some of them are aggressive, but there's and I don't know why that came to me, but I feel that about this connection that I have with my friends is that all we want to do is play together and love together.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Totally resonates with me.
Yeah. And so that, that brings up a good point too, John, that it's not just us humans that reincarnate. So do our animals. I fully, with everything that's in me, I fully believe that and have actually experienced that. I can't remember if you all were aware of me and I've been doing broadcasts for years and years, and I had a beautiful cat that named Gizmo, and every time I would go on the air, Gizmo had to be on the air, and Gizmo was very vocal, and so if I didn't let Gizmo be on the air with me, he would, he'd get down and he'd go in the other room and he would scream to the top of his lungs. So that people that followed me at that time when Gizmo was alive, they knew Gizmo and they would always know what to expect from him. And he had a very peculiar personality and attitude. And he told me the night before he left his physical body, he told me that I would be seeing him again. And I'm going, I hope so, because he was so special to me. I had him for 19 years, and he was a very special cat. So just recently, in the last 2 years, I visited Vermont and a dear friend up there. So she has cats. She has 4 cats and 2 dogs. And so there's like a lot of animal activity. So I'm visiting with her and, getting to know the animals. And she comes out the next morning. She goes, "Have you seen Gizmo?" And I just stopped in my tracks and I'm going, "Gizmo?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my cat Gizmo. Have you seen? And I'm going, "I didn't know you had Gizmo." And all of a sudden he comes out and it's Gizmo. It's my Gizmo.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
he treated me the same way that my cat treated me.
Wow.
Yeah, he would give me attitude. If he was upset, he'd let me know about it. And he'd just like puff and then turn around and walk away. And it was the exact same personality as my Gizmo. And it was just so interesting. I fully believe that our animals are going, if they want to be ours, they're going to be ours. And they're going to continue to show up in our lives even after they've left their physical body. So reincarnation is not just about us having all these human experiences in different realms and different life streams. But I really do believe that our animals also reincarnate and come back again and again. I've lost some precious animals through the years, and I believe that I have met up with several of them, but Gizmo was the one that was the most just out there as far as personality and letting me know that was him. And he did it in a big way. And even the one that he's with right now, his human, she's like, "Yep, he doesn't treat anybody else like this." Of course not.
Oh, I love that. I thank you for sharing, Terry. I used to have a cat named Starman, and we met in a really amazing way. I was in my 20s. We were going to a restaurant, a friend of mine and I, and this little kitten outside. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is a tiny little kitten, and he's all by himself." And this was a restaurant like out in the middle of like the Everglades back in the day. I said, "I just can't leave him here." And the person I was with said, "No, you just have to leave it." Anyway, so we had dinner, and when I came out, I saw the same kitten, but he had blood on him. And I'm like, "Kitten, coming home with me." Now that was Starman. Trixie Boo, my cat Trixie, the one that's always with me in every live stream, sitting there, she's holding my hand as you're talking about Gizmo. She had her paw on my hand the whole time.
Oh.
This is, and she looks like him, that the same, very similar tuxedo, black and white markings, same kind of fur, same kind of attitude. She's like, "I'm back." But now I'm a girl, but I'm back.
Yeah. I just love, I believe that some of our movies show us things that we may not be aware of, and they're like putting it out there for all of us to be more aware of. And there's some really good movies that have been written about animals reincarnating.
A
And
Dog's Life, I think, is one of them.
A
Is that the one?
Dog's Life, A Dog's Purpose.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Dog's Purpose. That's the one where the dog keeps coming back as another dog, and once as a cat, and followed the same person throughout their life.
Yeah.
That was an amazing movie.
Yeah, it was. And I fully believe that some of our movies, they're not just fiction. I think if we can imagine it, it can happen. So yeah, I love this. I love this discussion that we can just go places with it. That's what I do here at the Peapod. We just take something and run with it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we incarnate, like let's say maybe in another life John and I were sister and brother. Well, now we're friends, but we're soul sister and brother. Maybe in another life our husband was our cousin, or my mother was my child. I know that my mother in this life was my child in another life. And she behaved like a child in this life, but she was my mother.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's interesting, and I like that we decide, like, oh, I want to learn this or that, and the other soul friend or says, hey, I'll come with you and I'll play that role for you, and sometimes they're even pushing against rules. I had a 40, I'm not even kidding, 40-year friend of me from the time I was 3 and this person was 2, and it was like cutting off an arm when I had to end that relationship, but it was so toxic and unhealthy. But yet I forgave her anything for 40 years until I didn't anymore, until you just couldn't push me any further. But thanks. But then Spirit came to me. She came to me. Her soul came to me one day and said, I did a really good job playing the bitch, didn't I? And I'm like, yeah, you did. While I was asleep, I was waking up, and the Spirit came to me, and we like high-fived, and I never felt bad again, because I always, from that moment on, and that was years ago, I realized what had happened. This was a general role that she played in my life, and I played her part in her life, and she's all proud of herself, like, hey, I did a good job on this one. And I said, yeah, you did.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I call them the sandpaper. And I think that, we have these contracts with certain other souls that, okay, I need to learn this lesson. So there's something that we need to really fully understand and grasp. And we're not going to get it if we're all like angelic and, oh, life is good and awesome. And there's nothing that we're learning, other than just being and, we grow. We need that to straighten out those rough edges. And I think there's a lot of people, not just in our life, but a lot of people in that came for that role, that helps us to look at things with a different perspective and to learn more. Because I said, if we all thought exactly the same way, like Stepford wives, we wouldn't get it. But because somebody is pushing, somebody is, that edge for us, we pay more attention and we say, oh, I get it now. I understand. And like you said, it's like, okay, it's not bothering me anymore that we had that experience in this lifetime. It was meant to be. It was designed to be. Everything has a divine purpose.
And our souls still love each other. I don't want to see that person again in this incarnation. I don't even know if this person is still incarnate, but I think if they probably are, I don't know. But I don't have any connection in this life, but our souls have always been. I feel like we've always been together and always will be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a role that thare playing. Yeah. We're all here playing roles. I think you said that before. I call it the movie of our life. I'm the star of my movie. And y'all are character players that are dear to me. So you're main players. But we all have that. We all have something we came here for. And yeah, it's beautiful. I just think it's beautiful. I love life. And my friend Bob Miller used to tell me every day, life should be fun. We should be out there playing on the swing set and just enjoying the heck out of the time we have here, because it's way too short.
That's true. I'm about to be 58 years old tomorrow.
You have a birthday tomorrow. I knew that. I knew that.
My hairdresser. Oh, thank you. When I said this to my hairdresser today, and she's like, God, 58. And she's a little bit younger than me, maybe about 10 years, but it's like 58. Doesn't that sound like our parents' age? I was like, it sounds like my grandparents' age to me, honestly. When I think about it, I don't
Right.
feel like that. But that's what it sounds like. Or like, what? Yeah, couldn't be. But
Yeah.
I'm
Can
really
you
glad
remember
to
when
still
you were
be here.
like 18 years old and you're thinking 30 was like ancient?
Oh gosh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I remember that. What was it about in the 60s? Because I was born in 65. My brother was 12 years older than me. My brother was like John's age.
Oops.
Oh, hi. Okay. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. It couldn't be that interesting. Oh, about like what is it? What did they used to say? Don't trust anyone over 30. That's what I used to hear as a child.
Yeah.
As a child. I was a little girl at the time. Don't trust anyone over 30. Like 30, forget about it. I didn't think I was going to live past that, 30, I'm gonna be over there. My nephew that I just met yesterday or the other day is 30. He's 30. That's so hard to imagine. He's 30. I'm 58. Wow, time does fly.
It really does. Yeah. And it's getting more
Yet
and
it's
more.
eternal.
It's eternal, but our earth time here right now, it's really speeding up. That's another topic for another day.
Yeah, it's a good topic though.
Oh, I tell you, I've got a year to play here in the Peapod, and we have so many things that I want to discuss. And this has been an amazing one. We could go on for hours with this. So I have a feeling we're going to come back together at some point and talk more about reincarnation and life streams and all the good things we've touched on today. But before we end the show today, I just want to see if there's something you would like to leave our viewers with. And, John, you had brought this up and mentioned those people that have just that difficulty grasping maybe that it's a possibility that there's more than just what we're seeing. The physical, we can touch, we can feel this. We can't really touch reincarnation. We can't touch spirituality. We can't, it's not something that we can reach out and grab, but we know it in here. So I'd like to see if there's just something you all would like to leave our viewers with, maybe a question, maybe just a comment or an experience. And then how can they find you? You two are both amazing. And I know you work with many people. So give everyone the opportunity. And I do have your contact information in the description, but there may be people just listening that don't have that description in front of them. So who wants to start?
See.
Oh, me? Oh, okay. I was going to wait for you. But okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. This has been truly an honor and a pleasure to spend time with both of you and everyone who's listening and here energetically. It's interesting because I put my air up high, but yet I'm sweating. And that's for me. I know the spirit's blending with me like very closely. Oh, what do I want to say? Forgiveness and self-love. And not regardless of how long you've known someone or how much you love somebody, don't allow them to treat you in a way that makes you feel less than, because you're not less than. Okay, it's just a role you're playing, and you can make a choice. You can make a choice for yourself and say, you know what, this relationship is no longer healthy for me, because every time I speak with this person, maybe, and listen, take what I'm saying, take what resonates, leave the rest behind, everyone. But like whether it's your mother or your oldest friend or anyone, if they, every time you connect with them, you feel like, oh, exhausted, I'm drained, I feel terrible, now I think I'm shit again, excuse my language, but then maybe consider a little separation. That often brings clarity. Sometimes it might be a permanent separation from this life, and other times it's temporary. With my mother, it was temporary. Once I had clarity, we were able to come together and have the best several years of our lives together, of our life, this life together, before she transitioned. And so that's what I really want to share, because it's all about, like we were just talking about, this is a very short experience in this body, in this life. And sometimes, especially when I was younger anyway, it seemed like forever and I wanted to leave because it didn't resonate with a lot of the stuff that goes on. But like you said, Terry, a lot of the people in the world, even in politics or whatever, you didn't say that, but I'm just adding that on. They might be people that you just feel like, this is so wrong. I don't belong in this world. Why am I here? But it's all for us to grow, and we all agreed to it. We all agreed to it, to this experience, so that it can grow as souls. And I love the fact that we come here together with our soul family for love and support, and sometimes for lessons and love and support, you know? And it's going to be different in every case. I feel like sometimes the ones that are closest to us as a soul are some of the ones that might treat us the worst. In my case, that's what it was. Because there was nothing this person could do that would make me dislike them. And no matter what they did and how much I disagreed with it, I stayed with friends with this person for 40 years. Even though I vehemently disagreed with so much, and anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact is that innately, I knew that I just said, I love this person no matter what. And I still do love that person no matter what. I just, made a choice for myself, and I have no regrets about that. Where can people find me? They can find me. My name is Meagan Michael. I have a YouTube channel under my name, Meagan, Meagan Michael. Terry is going to be my guest on my show. Hang on a moment. Guys who love Terry Angel on April 7th. She will be on my show and channeling the angels. That'll be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, April 7th. I stream to both YouTube and Facebook. My awesome soul brother John and I often go live together. I don't have a plan right now, but I'm open, John. You let me know. I am ready when you're ready. Do we have a plan? Oh my God, that's not Friday. True. We totally have a plan. My God, I've just realized we're on this Friday. I said live with John, right there. Live with John.
She and I are reading this Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, the 31st March, because my birthday's tomorrow, and then we're gonna have my birthday live stream with John on the 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep. So, and I also do psychic readings and healing. And if anyone wants to reach out to me, you can message me on Facebook. It's a great way to reach me on Facebook. Also, my email, highvibrationalmastery@gmail.com. Those are the best ways to reach me at this time. So thank you for this amazing experience, Terry. And John, I love you. You're awesome. I love you both. You're both amazing.
Love you, see. Perry, all I want to say is, for those that may watch this, if any of this has been a source of discomfort for you, that's okay. You don't have to delve into this stuff if it bothers you, if it upsets you in any way. Everything that I do in this life, in this experience, is to help people find peace and comfort. So I don't want anything here that was said. These are our personal beliefs and feelings, and you all have the opportunity or the right to feel and believe what you want, and to stay away from what may bring you a source of discomfort. So you don't have to be spiritually inclined to believe all of this stuff. This is something that we just had a discussion about. I help people with, as I said earlier in the show, with what's going on now in this reality. This is bothering me. I've been attracting this all my life, and it's not been so healthy for me. And I help them to shift with the use of the angels and EFT. I help them to shift unhealthy, what would you say, creations or patterns that they've been living in, Terry. So that's kind of like been my specialty, using my mediumship and my EFT skills. That's what I want to say. There's no need to take any of this stuff and say you got to believe it or not. If it's a source of discomfort, let it go. Just do your best to enjoy this experience and get help from someone that you resonate with, that's someone that makes you feel good, whether it's a psychic medium, whether it's an angel channeler, an EFT, someone, a therapist. It could be anyone that helps you to feel good about this life experience. Get help with it so that you can enjoy yourself more, because this is what our Creator wants for us. Terry, thanks for this opportunity. People can catch me on Facebook. John Thaddeus Fiore. And I want to thank you and C for this beautiful opportunity to be with you guys and to have fun with discussing this great stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you both so much. Ah, what a blessing to just
Thank
sit and spend time with family. I consider you both family. And those of you that are listening to this, thank you for giving us your time and for taking time to honor yourself, to be open, to listen to something. And like John said, you know, we all have the choices in life if we want to continue to listen or to turn it off and say, no, I'm not ready for that yet. So hopefully you got something out of today. And it's my prayer that the words that were spoken here today, the love that was sent from our heart out into the world today has touched a life in some way. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you. I'll be back next week on the Peapod. Next week, we start a whole month of talking about angels and miracles. It's miracle moments with the angels. So if you have had a miracle moment and you would like to share that on the air, get in touch with me because I'd love to have you on to hear those. I think we all need to hear those inspiring stories of how our wonderful messengers, helpers, healers, these beings that were given to us as a gift to help us through this lifetime and how they have helped us while we're here. So we'll see the whole month of April to have that discussion about miracles and angels. Stay in your hearts, stay blessed. I love you so very much. See Meagan and John.